Hey again, everyone. I know it's been a pretty good amount of time since I've made my first video, and to be honest, that's pretty much just because I've been grinding out this Tarkov wipe, and after spending so much time, I mean, probably at least 100 hours this wipe, probably more than that, I kind of wanted to take a minute and talk a little bit about a lot of the problems I've been noticing in the game and how I think BSG should go about fixing them because some of these things are pretty game breaking in my opinion. So to start out with, I think like level 47 at this point. I've been playing pretty much non-stop since it wiped, unfortunately. I almost have most of the tasks done for I think like Prapor and another trader or two. I'm not 100% sure where I'm at because this is the farthest I've ever made it in a wipe. I'm trying to go for Prestige. I don't know if I'll do it twice. I probably won't do it twice. I do want to get Prestige 1 though, at the very least, before next wipe. I don't know when that's going to be. That could be next year from what I've heard. That can be, who knows? It could be in a couple months. They added a new prestige system, for those of you who don't know, which is basically where you play through the game, you get Kappa, you do a couple other things that you pretty much get done on your way to Kappa anyways, and then you prestige, which kind of resets your account, and you get to keep like a couple skills and like a few items or whatever. Obviously, since you have to go for Kappa, it is quite a grind. It takes a lot of patience to do it, and I'm starting to get to the point where I don't know if I have that patience. Like this wipe is probably the worst in terms of performance and cheaters that we've had in a long time. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. I mean, I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. Like pretty much every big streamer is kind of saying the same thing, with cheaters and there being a bunch of bugs and audio issues. So to start off with the cheaters, moving to Unity 2021 or 2022, whatever engine they moved to this wipe, I remember being told by Nikita that moving to Unity would remove a lot of the, well, not remove them, but it would break a lot of the cheats in the game. And unfortunately, either that's not the case or moving to Unity has made a lot of cheats in other games have been made pretty readily available for Tarkov because it's using the same engine as a lot of these other games. All I can say is I remember the first or the second day of this wipe, I was playing Arena. I had already been playing against a cheater. I mean, this guy was tapping heads left and right. You peek him and you just instantly die. And I mean, I don't like to call, everyone who's good a cheater because I know there's people who play the game that are really good, but it gets to the point when you can kind of just tell, like if you've played Tarkov or Valorant or CSGO or whatever tactical FPS game, it is easy to just say someone's cheating. There's also times when someone's blatant, like pretty blatantly cheating. It was really blatant. Like it was hard to say that he was a legitimate player. That's kind of how the entire wipe has been, not just in Arena, but also in the base game. And I mean, the base game is just a million times worse because people who cheat in Arena, it's mostly just because they want to ruin people's day. But in the base game, there's actual monetary gain that these people can make by cheating, and I think that's what makes the problem a million times worse. I cannot tell you the number of times that I have died this wipe to people with anywhere from like 12 to 14 KDs, which is absolutely insane for Tarkov. It wouldn't be such a big deal if it was, one person here or there has like a 12.0 KD or something like that. It becomes an issue when it's like every other raid when I'm dying, it's to someone with this massively high KD. It gets frustrating, man. It's frustrating to put all this time into a game and do all these tasks that are already meant to be really, really difficult and already meant to, and have it being made even harder by the fact that other people are using things like radar or wall hacks, whatever it may be. In my opinion, I think a lot of Tarkov cheaters use things like radar where they can tell where people are across the map because it tends to be one of those cheats that's harder to kind of see because it's not like they're using aimbot or whatever and they're snapping to your head. It's kind of just like they know where everyone is on the map at all times and they could just act like they don't know. The only thing that would even remotely indicate that they're cheating is the fact that they have a relatively high KD. I mean, even a 10.0 KD, that could just be a really good player. But like I said before, it's when every other death you have is to someone who has these massively high KDs. And it's like a game like Tarkov that's had issues of cheating in the past and still has issues of cheating now. It's kind of hard to defend players with high KDs when there's been such an issue with cheating across all the wipes. And as I said before, this wipe is probably probably like the worst, at least in my opinion, in terms of cheating that I've ever experienced. Like, I haven't been playing for super long. I've been playing for, I think, like, this is my like 5th or 6th wipe at this point, so like 3 years, somewhere around there. This is definitely the most time I put into a wipe, and I know I'm not the only one saying this. I've seen Pestily say it. The cheating situation in Tarkov right now is it's so bad right now. If you're a new player, or if you're thinking about buying the game, you should not buy the game right now. It's in such a poor state in terms of cheaters. You are going to have a horrendous time, because when you're new, you have to learn all the things that a lot of players already know, and someone like me who already knows the maps, already knows how to do a lot of the tasks, already knows good weapons you can use, good ammo, all that kind of stuff. That's things that new players have to learn. I'm struggling having to deal with cheaters already. I would not recommend getting the game to new players at all. It is in such a bad state right now. I think that's the most frustrating part about this wipe. It really feels like BSG just does not care at all about the fact that cheaters are just running rampant. It really feels like there are more cheaters in the game right now than there are legitimate players, and that's a huge problem. I really hope that BSG takes time to fix. I know cheating in video games is a pretty big problem, not just in Tarkov, but also in like games like Call of Duty, Halo, you know, other FPS games. And I mean, multiplayer games as a whole, cheating is a pretty big issue, but FPS games, I think, have the hardest time with it. And I know it's not as easy as just banning people, because if you ban people, then they just buy the game again. If you ban their IP, ban their PC, they'll just use spoofers, so you won't even be banning their hardware. I know it's difficult to combat cheaters, but it's pretty ridiculous how bad it is right now in Tarkov, and I really hope that they take a step back and try to combat it a little more. I don't know, add some new anti-cheat, update their anti-cheat, something, because it is so bad right now, man. Like, it's almost unplayably bad. And that's really sad, because like I said, they just added prestige, which is supposed to be like this motivation to get Kappa, you know, to encourage people who wouldn't normally go for Kappa to go for it, because you get a bunch of cool cosmetics and a couple things that help you in future wipes and stuff like that. And it makes it not fun to go for it. And that's another thing I want to talk about too, is I'm not having fun anymore in this wipe or in this game, which is really sad, because it's a great game. I mean, Tarkov does a lot of things that other companies, other games, you know, they can only dream of doing, and it just makes it really sad that Tarkov has all of this going on for it, and it's just being ruined by cheaters. There's a few other issues too. I'm gonna get into that in a second, but cheating right now it's awful. It's so bad. That's not the only problem this wipe that I want to talk about. There's another problem too, and that's the second biggest thing that I'm having issues with this wipe, is the audio. And again, I know a lot of people have talked about this, but the audio, quite possibly the worst it has ever been in any wipe I've ever played. It is so bad. Like, there's been multiple times where I've been playing on factory, and I'll be in like 3rd story office, and some guy will walk up the stairs behind me, and keep in mind, I won't be wearing like a tequila face mask or a Alton or whatever. I'll be wearing like a helmet with headphones, and like I'll be wearing XLs, which are a pretty good pair of headphones, and some guy will walk up behind me, wouldn't even have heard him, and he would just one tap me in the back of the head. It's like, it's not fun when you can't hear anything. Like Sankrat, for example, he talked about crab walking being added back into the game, which is basically where you crouch while also like slow walking, and it makes you pretty much like completely silent. I don't really have an opinion about that. There's good things and bad things about being able to be completely silent. I personally kind of like crab walking, but some people probably wouldn't like it, because it does encourage ratting a little bit more, slow play and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like that's kind of how Tarkov should be played anyways. Not the ratting, but the, you know, playing slow and tactically and that kind of thing. It's so bad. Like, it's to the point where it doesn't matter what headphones you use. You can use anything from the shitty GSSHs you get like right off rip to all the way up to Comtac 6s, and I swear it does not make a difference. And it's not just footsteps either. It's things like reverb and gunshots. Can't tell where it's coming from. Like, there'll be people who will be shooting above me and it'll sound like it's below me, or there'll be people shooting in front of me and it'll sound like it's behind me, and it's just, the audio is so bad right now, and it's just, I don't know why BSG kind of wants to do something that's never really been done in gaming before, and that's like making like realistic audio. So like, let's say you shot out a window, right? You would hear audio coming from that window from outside, kind of like real life, right? So if like someone's running out and like the window is open, you would only hear them from that window. You wouldn't hear them like through the wall or anything like that. Same thing with kind of like things above you and below you, right? Is let's say there's a staircase next to you, like for example on dorms, third-story dorms. Let's say you're on the second floor, there's a guy on the third floor. He'll be shooting up there and you'll hear him from the staircase. You won't hear him like directly above you. It'll be muffled above you, but you can hear him from the staircase a lot clearer. It is a little bit complicated to explain, but basically to put it into simple terms, they're trying to go for this like hyper realistic audio system. You know, a cool thing to go for. It's definitely something that's never really been done before. From like a gameplay standpoint, I don't think it's good for Tarkov at all. I don't think it makes the game more interesting. I don't think it makes it more fun. If anything, I think it just makes it worse because of how buggy the audio is. Similar to what Pestley has said, is that they should just make the audio how it used to be, which is if a guy's above you, you hear him above you. If a guy's below you, you hear him below you. You know, left, right, you hear him there. Who knows? Maybe their plans for the realistic audio will make some really cool like gameplay and, you know, cool audio sounds and stuff like that. But as it is right now, it is 100% in its worst state it has ever been in. The last thing I want to talk about here is a lot of the bugs in the game. I know Tarkov has pretty much always been a really buggy game, so it's kind of just repeating what's already been said, but I mean, at the beginning of this wipe, the game was damn near unplayable in terms of things like bugs and disconnects and not being able to have a stable frame rate and constant like crashes. I mean, even now, I mean, I'm always getting errors. It's like every feature in the game has a bug with it. Anything that you can do in the game has at least one or like two bugs to go along with it. An example that I've had is when I try to replace multiple fuel tanks in my generator like at once, it'll like give me like a back end error or something like that. If I want to replace multiple fuel tanks, I have to replace one, back out of the hideout, go back in, replace the other one, and it's just a bit of a pain. I mean, that's not a game-breaking bug by any means, but that kind of just proves my point that a lot of features in the game have a bug to go along with it. There's been other bugs that are really annoying, like going to a scav run with a bunch of buddies, and if I'm the host, I'll load in just fine, but they'll all get errors and they'll be kicked out, and then they'll have to reconnect, and by the time they get back into the match, it's like 5 minutes in. You know, I've already waiting there for like 5 minutes waiting for my teammates to load in, and it's just a pain, man, and it makes the game less fun. And I mean, it's just things like that, just like little things here and there with bugs. I mean, the game's always been like that. There's a lot of things in the game that are like not done in other games. You know, it's a very complex game. I understand why there's a lot of bugs. I mean, BSG has a lot of features in the game. I mean, feels like every couple months they're adding something big to the game, whether it be a new boss or they're changing how the scavs work or, you know, making some big change to the game. So I understand why there's a lot of bugs. I've never really been a player to complain too much about bugs, but I do feel like in a video like this where I'm talking about all of the issues that I've been having in Tarkov, like a lot of the problems that have been going on, I feel like it's worth mentioning the bugs of this wipe and just the general like overall way that the game runs is just awful. I mean, the performance is trash this wipe. It like the other two things I mentioned, probably the worst that it's been in a long time, like 2 or 3 wipes. Like the past couple wipes have been pretty stable. This one, awful. And I mean, it's gotten better as they've made technical updates and technical patches to the game since wipe. It is still really, really bad. Like it still performs like trash. So yeah, back to what I've been saying before. I was trying to go for prestige. I don't know if I'm gonna go for it anymore. At this point, I've realized that I'm just not having fun with the game, and you know, what's the point of playing a game if you're not gonna have fun, right? Like the whole point of playing video games is to relax, to, you know, enjoy playing with buddies, playing by yourself, whatever, however you may play a game. The point of video gaming is to have fun. I feel like me, along with a lot of other players, have kind of distanced themselves from that idea of gaming is meant to be fun. Like, it's not meant to be this grindy experience where you feel like you're working a job or you feel like you're doing a chore or whatever. I mean, that's what most of the tasks in Tarkov feel like, are chores. That's another thing they need to fix too, is the tasks. I feel like a lot of the tasks just take a long time to do, or they're just tedious, and they're not fun to go for. Like, there's some tasks that are fun. Like, for example, tasks where it's like, run SMG on factory and kill a bunch of scavs, or kill PMCs using, like, an M4, something like that. Like, those type of tasks that I feel like a lot of the tasks in the game should get done as you play. Like it shouldn't be like it's fine if a couple things here and there, like go out of your way, grab this thing, or go out of your way, go to this place. That's generally fine, I think. I don't really like how a lot of the tasks are just this tedious grind to get a bunch of kills with a gun you don't even like to use, or go halfway across the map, grab this thing, and then get out with it alive. A lot of the tasks should get done as you play the game. It shouldn't be something you have to go out of your way, grind for. I mean, like I said before, it's fine if there's a couple tasks here or there for, like, I don't know, good ammo unlocks or armor unlocks. It's like optional to go for, if you want that stuff. But I don't feel like a lot of the stuff should be like, go out of your way and grab this. But anyways, I kind of just want to talk about that a little bit. I'm not trying to complain too much about the game. I don't really like how, a lot of videos about Tarkov are always, oh, BSG bad, Nikita bad, all the changes they're making are bad, the game's toxic, there's this and that going on, you shouldn't play it because of this, you shouldn't play it because of that. Like, I don't really like these, like, negative videos. I mean, it's not just Tarkov either. It's, like, gaming, and honestly, just the internet in general is just spreading negativity here and there, and I really don't like doing that. I don't like making, a video where it's like, BSG has all these issues with their game. I really want to see Tarkov be a better game than what it is. I want to see it succeed more than it is already succeeding. I want it to be, I want it to reach its potential, because there is a lot of potential in Tarkov. I feel like BSG is just not taken advantage of, and they're just kind of ignoring a lot of the issues with the game. So that's kind of all I want to talk about today. I hope you all have a good one.